One thing a lot of people don't know about this movement is that the melody begins on the first beat. So they usually think this is accompaniment, and that's the melody. But actually, the melody begins on the first beat. If you look at the score, and you see that they play, the violins who have the melody play bum. That's the beginning of the melody. Then it continues, da da da. All of which is just an ornamentation of that first single B flat. In other words, it goes D. The melody's already begun. See, that's not the beginning of the melody, that phrase. It's an elaboration of the single note, B flat. It's just a way of ornamenting that single note. Then he turns it into a melody further by, and suddenly you have something going. But the beginning of the melody is that. That's what the melody is about. It's not the ordinary conception of a melody. It's ornamentation. One note, ornamentation. And out of this ornament, he makes a melody. The minute he gets to the dominant, you know he's in the middle of a melody. Sorry for the wrong notes. Now it blooms as a real melody, something we recognize as a tune. Is the last note of the melody, which also is the first note of the repetition of the melody. If you listen, you'll see. That's his tune, for good or bad. I mean, that's the way Beethoven wrote melodies. He was not a great melodist. What he was interested in was seeds, motives, things out of which he could bring melodies. This is one of the most unremarkable melodies ever written, one of the most famous, but you couldn't call it a melody, could you? Seventh Symphony. So far, what have you got? One note. Now. Some melody. Now it becomes a little more melodic. You like that melody? You do? So do I. But is it a melody? No. There is no aspect of Beethoven in which you could say Beethoven is great as a melodist, a harmonist, a contrapuntist, a tone painter, his orchestration. You can find fault with all of them. If you take any one of these elements separately, you find nobody. There's nothing there. He spent his whole life trying to write a good fugue, and he himself admitted he never succeeded. And as far as his orchestration is concerned, you could have it. I mean, it's bad. It has trumpets sticking out, all playing the same note, and it's sort of drowning out everybody else. You can't really hear. You have to balance. The melodies go like that, and you can't really say it's a great melodist. And the harmonies, any child could write. And as for harmonies, how many times do you have to listen to the pages of one chord over it? That's not very interesting harmonically, right?